A lot of what we know about the ancient world comes from the objects people left behind. We know the ancient Egyptians through artifacts like the bust of Nefertiti and the Rosetta Stone. We know the Anglo-Saxons through the helmet and treasure found at Sutton Hoo. But what about the Aztecs and the Maya? What kind of artifacts did they leave behind? And what do those finds reveal about the people who created them? Stay tuned because today we'll be looking at the 15 astonishing Aztec and Maya artifacts ever discovered. From frightening skull-shaped whistles to a giant stone calendar that predicts the end of the world, each one tells an unbelievable story. Number 15. The Maya Codex of Mexico, the Quisay Maya, is not just a book written by the ancient Maya. It's a survivor of one of history's greatest cultural tragedies. Long before the Spanish conquest, Maya scribes filled thousands of screenfold books made from fig bark paper with centuries of astronomical observations, royal histories, medical knowledge, ritual calendars, and records of daily life. Then, on July 12, 1562, something very tragic happened. In the town of Man, Bishop Diego de Landa ordered Maya books gathered into a massive pile and burned, believing they contained the work of the devil. According to his own account, the Maya watched in tears as their written history disappeared into the flames. Today, only 4 authentic Maya codices are known to have survived, and the Codice Maya de Mexico is one of them. Its pages preserve detailed calculations of the planet Venus, revealing an unbelievable understanding of astronomy centuries before modern science reached similar precision. It also leaves behind a disturbing question. If just 4 books survived, what kind of knowledge vanished forever with the thousands that became ashes in man? Number 14. The death whistles of Aztec. When archaeologists found a frightening skull-shaped whistle beside a human skeleton near Mexico City, they assumed it was another ceremonial object left behind by the Aztecs. That assumption lasted right up until someone blew into it. Instead of a clear note, the whistle let out a piercing cry that sounded disturbingly close to a human scream. No one expected a small clay artifact to produce a sound like that. It completely changed the way researchers looked at these strange objects. This whistle was discovered in the ruins of Tlatelolco, and others have since been uncovered across central Mexico. So, why did the Aztecs make them? Well, it is still debated. One idea is that priests used them during human sacrifice ceremonies, allowing the terrifying sound to echo through temple courtyards. Some experts also believe warriors carried dozens of them into battle, creating a wall of screams before the fighting even began. One whistle is chilling enough. Imagine hundreds sounding at the same time. Well, that alone might explain why these eerie artifacts remain among the creepiest objects the Aztecs ever left behind. Number 13. The Aztec calendar stone. Everyone remembers the panic surrounding December 21, 2012. For many years, people said the Maya had predicted the end of the world. Well, that never happened. But while the Maya were making headlines, another civilization had already carved its own vision of the world's fate into a single block of stone. This giant monument was commissioned in 1487 during the reign of Moctezuma II's predecessor. It weighs nearly 25 tons and is almost 12 feet across. Most people call it the Aztec calendar, even though it isn't a calendar in the way we think of one today. It's a map of time itself. The face staring back from the center belongs to Tonatiuh, the sun god, who is surrounded by the symbols of 4 earlier worlds the Aztecs believed had already been destroyed. These worlds are 4 jaguar, 4 wind, 4 rain, and 4 water. Then comes 4 movement, the sign linked to the 5th sun, the age we live in, which Aztec belief said would someday end with violent earthquakes. And it's happening, before Spanish forces reached Tenochtitlan. The stone was deliberately buried beneath Templo Mayor. Whether the Aztecs were right or wrong, one thought is impossible to ignore: they believed our world was living on borrowed time. Number 12. Artifacts that changed how we see the Maya. The Maya left behind far more than temples and pyramids. Their world is filled with enormous stone heads, finely carved figurines, and monuments that still leave archaeologists debating exactly what many of them were meant to represent. Over the years, some researchers have even argued that certain objects look like flying machines or share surprising similarities with artwork found on the opposite side of the world. Those ideas remain highly controversial, but they continue to fuel endless debate. What isn't disputed is that much of Maya history vanished after the Spanish conquest, when countless indigenous books and records were destroyed. How much knowledge vanished with them is something we'll probably never know. Even so, the ground continues to tell its own story. Archaeologists have found more than 200 ritual artifacts inside a hidden cave beneath Chichen Itza that point to connections historians are still trying to understand. Every new discovery raises another question. Have we uncovered only a fraction of what the Maya left behind, or is their greatest discovery still waiting beneath the forest? Number 11. The Maya resurrection plate. Some ancient artifacts tell a story, but this one captures an entire moment that shaped Maya mythology. It's called the resurrection plate, and this thing portrays the rebirth of the maize god, Hunahpu, one of the most important figures in Maya belief. According to the Popol Vuh, Hunahpu and his brother were lured into the underworld, challenged to a sacred ball game, defeated, and sacrificed by decapitation. But the story did not end there. His twin sons, the hero twins Xbalanque and Hedapu, returned to the underworld, outwitted its rulers, and won the game their father had lost. On the plate, the twins stand on either side of Hunahpu as he rises again. Beneath him, a turtle shell represents the earth itself, while his severed head sprouts a stalk of corn, symbolizing life returning from death. Curiously, nobody knows exactly where this masterpiece was discovered. Its distinctive codex-style painting suggests it was created somewhere around Tikal or Calakmul in northern Guatemala. Today it rests in Boston's Museum of Fine Arts, still preserving one of the Maya world's most powerful stories. Number 10. The skull of the smoking mirror. Most of us would probably walk away the moment we realized a mask had been made from a real human skull. The Aztecs, however, saw something completely different. To them, this wasn't a symbol of horror, it was a sacred object created for one of their most powerful gods. Known today as the skull of the smoking mirror, the artifact was transformed with remarkable craftsmanship. Blue turquoise and dark lignite formed the bold stripes across the face. Polished black pyrite set into white conch shells created lifelike eyes, and thin plates from thorny oysters outlined the nose. The inside was carefully lined with deerskin so an Aztec priest could actually wear it during religious ceremonies. By putting on the mask, the priest became Tezcatlipoca, the god of the night sky, the ruler of the first sun, and the eternal rival of Quetzalcoatl. Long before the Aztecs rose to power, the Toltecs had already worshipped this mysterious deity, and some scholars believe his cult helped introduce human sacrifice into Mesoamerican religion. One extraordinary mask still preserves that forgotten world of ritual, belief, and transformation. Number 9. The fired clay Mictlantecutli statue. The Aztecs were not just famous for their warriors and temples. They were equally known for their powerful beliefs about death, and no artifact captures that world better than this towering statue of Mictlantecutli, the Aztec god of the underworld. Discovered in 1994 beneath the streets of Mexico City by archaeologist Leonardo López Luna, the fired clay figure stands almost 6 feet tall and dates to around AD 1480. One look at it is enough to understand why visitors rarely forget it. Long claw-like fingernails stretch from its hands, its ribs are fully exposed, and even its liver hangs from its body. Every detail was carefully shaped from fired clay before layers of stucco and paint brought the terrifying figure to life. According to Aztec belief, souls that did not immediately reach one of the sacred afterlives faced a 4-year journey through the 9 levels of Mictlan, where countless hardships awaited. At the end of that long passage stood Mictlantecutli, the Lord of Mictlan, deciding whether a soul had finally earned peace or would continue its suffering in the world below. Well, the Aztecs were different. Number 8. The statue of Chayac. Every civilization had a god they simply couldn't afford to ignore. For the ancient Maya, that god was Chayac. Without rain, their crops failed, food became scarce, and even the authority of kings could begin to crumble. That's why this unusual statue, standing less than 2 feet tall, was far more than a work of art. Created between the 12th and 14th centuries, it served as an effigy urn, where incense was burned during sacred ceremonies in the hope of winning Chayac's favor. His appearance is just as unforgettable as his importance. Rather than creating a perfect-looking deity, Maya artists gave Chayac enormous round eyes, skin covered with scales, a long drooping nose that almost resembles an elephant's trunk, and a lightning axe gripped in his hand. His image had already appeared in Maya culture as far back as the pre-classic period, showing that people had honored him for well over 1,000 years. To the Maya, every rainfall carried a simple reminder. Somewhere, Chayac had listened. But was it a real person or a mythical figure? Number 7. The Tikal Marcador. Most people have heard stories about the Romans expanding across Europe or the Egyptians building monuments that still stand today. But the ancient Maya had their own mystery, and it begins with a single block of limestone buried beneath the ruins of Tikal. Carved around AD 416, the Tikal Marcador doesn't just preserve Maya history, it hints that 2 of the greatest civilizations in ancient Mesoamerica may have been far more connected than anyone once believed. Its shape looks like ceremonial banners from Teotihuacan, a powerful city hundreds of miles away in central Mexico, not something normally associated with Tikal. Then come the hieroglyphs. They mention the mysterious spear-thrower owl, whose identity is still uncertain, and Siyaj Kahak, the warrior who arrived at Tikal before an entirely new royal dynasty took power. The monument even features Tlaloc, Teotihuacan's rain god, instead of the Maya god Chahac. Was this the record of a foreign conquest or something historians still haven't pieced together? Number 6. The Maya stoneball game. Yoke long before football-filled stadiums or basketball-packed arenas, the Maya had a game that demanded just as much skill and sometimes carried far greater consequences. Played across Mesoamerica for thousands of years, the ball game took place on massive stone courts where 2 teams battled to drive a solid rubber ball through high stone rings using only their hips, shoulders, upper arms, or thighs. Hands and feet were forbidden. To absorb the impact, players wore thick protective belts made from leather, wood, or rubber. This stone yoke was carved to look like one of those belts, but its weight made it impossible to wear during a match. Instead, it served a ceremonial purpose, most likely presented to winners or used during important rituals connected to the game. Examples have even been found inside burials, showing the respect these objects commanded. Although this yoke from Chiapas, Mexico is plain, others were carved into animals, human figures, and perhaps even gods. That raises an intriguing question. Was the ball game a sport, or something the Maya believed carried a much deeper meaning? Number 5. The Aztec feather shield. When most people picture an ancient shield, they imagine heavy iron or thick bronze built to stop an enemy's weapon. The Aztecs had a very different idea. One of their most celebrated creations wasn't covered in metal at all, it was covered in feathers. This brilliant blue masterpiece was carefully assembled over months by master featherworkers using the feathers of scarlet macaws, roseate spoonbills, yellow orioles, and blue cotingas. The shield's surface forms the image of a coyote, while its mouth contains the Tlachinoli symbol, a combination of water and scorched earth that represented war itself. Behind the colorful design lies a frame woven from the inner bark of an agave plant, showing just how much skill went into its construction. Because such delicate craftsmanship would never survive a real battlefield, historians believe it belonged to a high-ranking warrior who carried it during ceremonies and important public events, where power was displayed as much through symbolism as through weapons. Number 4. The jade mask of Pakal. Some discoveries are valuable because of the treasure they contain. Others become priceless because they preserve the story of an entire civilization. The jade mask of Pakal somehow does both. In 1952, archaeologists opened the long-sealed tomb of Kinnick Janab Pakal. Under the Temple of the Inscriptions at Palenque, an ancient city the Maya called La Camha, or Big Water. Resting over the ruler's face was a breathtaking funerary mask crafted from carefully fitted pieces of jade more than 1,300 years earlier, around AD 683. Pakal had become king at just 12 years old, rebuilding Palenque after years of military defeats and ruling for an extraordinary 68 years. To the Maya, the mask represented far more than royal status. They believed death marked a transformation rather than an ending, and jade symbolized life, fertility, and the eternal strength of the maize god. Reserved almost exclusively for kings and the highest ranks of society, jade accompanied the soul into its next journey. That single mask still offers one of the clearest windows into how the Maya understood power, death, and eternity. Number 3. The gold mask of Chichen Itza. Gold was never common among the ancient Maya, which is exactly why this discovery caught archaeologists by surprise. During excavations of the sacred cenote at Chichen Itza in the 1930s, divers recovered a remarkable 3-piece gold mask resting beneath the water, where generations of Maya had offered valuable objects and even human lives to the gods. The mask consists of 2 separate eyes and a mouth, but its design raises far more questions than it answers. The feathered serpent decorating the eyes represents Kukulkan, which was one of Chichen Itza's most important deities, while the distinctive goggle-shaped eyes resemble Tlaloc, the rain god worshipped across central Mexico. Stranger still, experts believe the embossed gold craftsmanship did not originate in the Yucatan at all. Instead, its style closely matches metalworking traditions from the Pacific coasts of present-day Costa Rica and Panama. Somehow, this extraordinary object traveled hundreds of miles before reaching one of the Maya world's holiest places, offering remarkable evidence that Chichen Itza was connected to an immense trade network stretching across Mesoamerica long before Europeans ever arrived. Number 2. The eagle warrior statue for the ancient Aztecs. The eagle was far more than a powerful bird. It represented courage, victory, and the strength every warrior hoped to earn in battle. That spirit still lives on in this remarkable life-sized eagle warrior statue, one of the finest military artifacts ever recovered from the Aztec world. Standing almost 6 feet tall, the ceramic figure was carefully covered with stucco to create hundreds of overlapping feathers, many of which can still be seen across its chest, arms, shoulders, and legs despite centuries of damage. Its hands end beneath sweeping feathers, sharp talons wrap around the knees, and an enormous eagle helmet surrounds the warrior's head, leaving only his face visible through the open beak. Details like these match illustrations found in the Florentine Codex, confirming that elite eagle warriors really did wear armor designed to resemble the bird itself. The sculpture once stood inside the House of the Eagle in Tenochtitlan, where these elite fighters gathered before campaigns to perform sacred ceremonies, offer blood sacrifices, and seek the gods' blessing before marching into war. Number 1. The Ro Azul chocolate cup. This artifact might not be the most valuable artifact the Maya left behind, but it tells a story few people would ever expect. Hidden inside the tomb of a Maya king at Ro Azul in Guatemala was a simple ceramic cup with an unusual screw-top lid. For years it looked like nothing more than another burial vessel. Then researchers noticed something extraordinary, not because of the cup's design, but because of what had remained inside it for nearly 15 centuries. Traces of cacao were still preserved, and the hieroglyphs painted around the vessel identify it as a cup made specifically for chocolate. That discovery offered a rare glimpse into royal Maya life, where cacao was a privilege enjoyed mainly by kings and nobles. It grew in only a few parts of Mesoamerica, making the beans so valuable they were even used as currency. In the Maya world, drinking chocolate wasn't just a pleasure, it was a sign of wealth, status, and power. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Until then, stay curious. We'll see you soon.